You can say what you want to say about any designer fragrance, except for these 10, because these are perfect 10 out of 10. Perfect, what was that, Tekken Tag or something? Designer fragrances that are worth every fucking penny, and I would literally buy them again and again and again. So buckle in, because we're in for a pretty interesting video. So is this a top 10 of all time? Not really. It's not gonna be of all time. They're just 10 perfect ones. So let's get started, okay? There might be a few here that you will recognize, but I tried for just, different, just for sake, I guess. I tried to put in some newbies. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? And plus, would you really want to watch a list of like 10 more fragrances that now you have to add to that list that's never ending? No, let's tickle that little itch that craves to be itched, and the W that you feel when you're like, yeah, I have that shit already. You're not gonna tell me what to buy. Starting off with Spicebomb Extreme. So if you have this already, yeah, broies, pat yourself on the balls or the back, whatever. Don't pat yourself on the balls, actually pretty hurt. It hurts. Where are we going with this? Back to the video. Spicebomb Extreme, sexy as that's it. That's all you need to know, bro. Just go buy it. I'm just playing. Vanilla, spice, and everything nice. And tobacco. This is like the entry-level tobacco fragrance that every man should have in their collection. And honestly, it's so nostalgic, and it takes me back every single time whenever I rock this fragrance. Don't let people tell you when you can or can't wear things, but rather take their guide and, kind of play with it. Because most people would tell you fall and winter dates. But for me, bro, it was a signature scent for fall, winter, and even during the springtime. I would even rock this to the gym, and I swear it on everything I love. I was getting compliments like crazy, even at the gym. In terms of longevity, it'll last all day, boys. I sprayed this on about 7 to 14 times. I'm not even joking, man. It is what it is. And everybody loved it, okay? Everybody loved it. If you guys hear it, listen. In the East, I'm considered a pussy when it comes to spraying. I'm not joking. In the West, I'm considered like, oh my God, you have no regard. Excommunicate him. Put him in the cells. In the gulag. Throw his ass in the gulag. No, okay? Up your sprays. AROMATIX boot camp coming soon. Overspraying boot camp coming soon. If you're not watching my short content, then it just flew over your head, and I encourage you to do so. Find me on Instagram and on TikTok. Anyways, back to this, boys. It's a very nice vanilla, tobacco, and spice fragrance. In fact, this is a fragrance that got me into something like Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. I didn't enjoy it at first, and this is a more entry-level version of that, and arguably even more wearable. And to me, honestly, I like this more than Tobacco Vanille. It is what it is. In terms of the projection, the scent profile, it's just better overall. Sometimes the beauty in simplicity is better than just the price tag, and no, well, it's not just the price tag. It's actually pretty rich in scent profile, but the performance on that shit is pretty doo-doo. At least in the projection. It'll last, but it won't project like this. So, all things considered, it's a perfect 10 out of 10. It's a designer fragrance that I think every man should have in their collection, especially if you like that tobacco, vanilla, and spice. Must have, period. Pretty much you can wear this every single day during the fall and winter, and potentially even the springtime. It really just depends on how confident you are, and that's it. Moving on to the next one, it's called YSL EDP. Yes, it has been cloned. Yes, it's a simple fragrance, but it's one of the best ones, period. I've been rocking this one for like the last 4 years, and almost every single time that I've rocked it specifically to the gym, I've gotten, wow, you smell good. What is that? Especially if I'm engaging in a conversation. The projection for this is crazy for the first 3 hours. I don't sissy spray, you guys. I spray this on like 8 to 15 times, and I kid you not, I've never gotten a bad compliment. Okay, look, if you spray it 3 times, up it by 2. Try it. And if you're comfortable with that, stay there for like a month, and then up it by another 2. I promise, man, like most of the population is underspraying than they are overspraying, period. So anyways, back to this. It's fresh, it's clean, a little bit sweet, very sexy. It's got aromatic sage, amber woods, and it works. Performance for this, it's lasted me all day, and it projects for like the first 3 to 6 hours. It's there pretty much the entire day. And you can signature scent it for any season and any event. That includes dates. That definitely includes dates. And for that reason, it makes it worth it. If you can wear this fragrance everywhere, why wouldn't it be? And it has the quality. Yes, there are a lot of clones of this, but there isn't anything that's ever gonna get something fully 100%. The quality, the fixatives, the, etc. Doesn't mean those clones aren't good, but this is still worth the money. Moving on to the next one. This is called Terre Vetiver or Eau Vetiver Intense. Oh my God, I fell in love with this after traveling overseas to France, to Italy, etc., and smelling all of the hotels. And whenever I spray this on, I just smell luxury, I smell money, I smell masculinity, and just rich man vibes. As simple as that. All of the hotels there literally smell like this, you guys. So it's woody, it's masculine, a little bit citric, but it does have a certain bitterness to it. It's like astringent, kind of like grapefruit. If you don't like the note of grapefruit and you don't know what vetiver smells like, they kind of go towards a similar scent. Obviously, the grapefruit is going to have more citruses, and vetiver will go more towards the wood side of things. Dry, brittle, but also bitter at the same time. If you do like vetiver though, wow, unbelievable, bro. I know a lot of people like the original, but I just think this is the next level. I always love a fragrance that just has a punch. For example, the original, it's a great fragrance, but because this one just has that one contrast that's just like, oh, okay, it absolutely takes the cake for me. So Eau Vetiver Intense also lasts the entire entire day. Its projection is very appropriate to what it's trying to exude, which is luxury and class. It's going to project for like a good 2 hours, and even its projection is like scent trails, etc. Although it lasts for the rest of the day, it's going to be more so of a bubble than it is going to be scent trails and clouds. Moving on to the next one, although it's kind of weak, I mean, although it is weak, it's Dolce Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum. It's still worth the price tag if you're buying the big bottle, because there is nothing else that smells exactly like this. Are there fragrances that get close to something like this? Sure, but nothing gets like this DNA. And even clones and etc., it just doesn't happen, man. Ambery goodness, super sexy, mysterious, cardamom. Oh my God, bro. Unreal. But if you wear this, you gotta spray it 15 times. And I'm not even joking. You gotta spray it 15 times if you want any kind of projection and performance. After that, it is still worth it. It's still worth it for me because of its uniqueness, because of, I mean, a designer fragrance that smells like this isn't really common. This was back in the era of like sexy fragrances like La Nuit de l'Homme, etc. And it's in that family, just more ambery. So yes, it's worth it. However, its versatility is a lot more reserved than some of these other fragrances mentioned as well. It's gonna be one that's specifically for the fall and winter time, and you don't wanna wear it to like the gym. So everything else will work. And these have worked for me in the gym, except for the one Eau de Parfum. The ambery nature of it was just a bit too much, and although it didn't give me a bad workout experience, it was still okay and I still got through the workout in comparison to some of the other fragrances where it's just like, oh, I shouldn't have wore this to the gym and then I have to leave. But this, it was okay. It's not the most appropriate. Still, for the price, check the links down in the description. At discounters, it's still worth it. Moving on to the next one, a perfect 10 out of 10 for me, is Allure Homme, the original. Fresh, it's got a plethora of notes. It's fresh, it's aromatic, it's got old school mixed with new school, and it still works. For those of you who are like in your 20s, don't let that steer you away, the whole old school meets new school, because it still smells really good. It's got like peach, musk, aromatic, fresh citruses. It's a good one. You could wear this all year round, and the quality of Chanel fragrances and their fixatives and their musks is like consistent across the boards. When you smell Chanel fragrance, you can almost identify it once you get used to their entire lineup, and that's the same case with this one. Classic, timeless, any season, anywhere. Dress it up or even dress it down. For me personally, out of the entire Chanel Allure lineup, although I love the Edition Blanche, the Sport Edition Blanche, this is the one that I'll always replenish. I'll always replenish this. It's just easier to wear than all of them. The next perfect 10 out of 10, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. This one isn't gonna be for everybody. There's something in here that, I mean, it's like a feminine touch. It's a bit of that spices, maybe something of like clove or the whole kulfi vibe, the Indian spiced ice cream. It comes off a little bit light and very, how do I say this? And very oriental as well. Oriental, spiced, vanillic, sexy though. So sexy. I feel like it does have an exotic vibe to it too. So for those of you who are not into the exotics, the oriental, the, you know, whole Middle Eastern, African, whatever vibes, you're probably not gonna, I kept out Indian, the one that it's actually inspired by. Indian ice cream smells amazing. A designer fragrance that I believe to be treading into niche category. It's not gonna be for everybody, but my God, it smells fantastic. If you like notes like saffron, which is predominantly the reason it's getting that oriental vibe, well, and the combination of cardamom, you're gonna love this. It's got mastic, it's got orange flower, it's got a plethora of notes, not just those. But for the most part, it's that saffron, cardamom, vanilla ice cream, and maybe even that orange flower. That's just so to die for with this one. Not gonna be for everybody, treading into niche category, and I absolutely love it. In terms of its performance and projection, it's gonna last pretty much the entire day, but the projection is relatively soft after the first like 35-40 minutes. For the first 35-40 minutes, I could smell it for around 3 feet, walking around, etc. And after that, it kind of reels back into like a scent bubble. So they're gonna have to be closer to smell you. So if it's somebody that you're sharing a bowl of ice cream with, your kulfi, then you'll probably, and very likely will smell you. Worth every penny because of every aspect of the fragrance. That's pretty much it. Moving on to one that's not as spoken of, and it's relatively new. And I think this is worth every penny. It smells really good. It smells like a fuzzy suede, some spiced saffron. It's very carbonated feeling, and even a touch fresh. It's called Tom Ford's Eau d'Ombre Leather. Combination of spices and ginger, and the spices are like my favorite ones. Cardamom, it's mysterious, it's sexy, and the ginger just gives it this very nice and crisp, zingy nature to it. And all of it resting on a bed of fuzzy leather, suede, basically. There's ambroxan, there's also vanilla, soften things out. There's also a note of coriander, but what I get with this one is basically what smells like a more designer take on something like Baby Cat. More wearable, more projecting. it's absolutely insane. Whereas Baby Cat is a lot richer, denser, a bit harder to wear, but I would personally argue and say sexier. This takes it, makes it more versatile, and I love this. It's different enough to justify both as well. Something about that whole ambroxan, ginger, and those spices at the top completely changes the game. Whereas something like Baby Cat goes more towards the ambery, rich, and almost like gasoline-like vanilla, this one takes it in a fresher realm. It's not a fresh fragrance by any means, but I personally rocked it in the spring and it worked, but still smells really dang nice. That coriander gives it a nice little bit of this herbal kick as well. Coriander is stemming from, or it's cilantro seeds, basically. It doesn't necessarily smell like cilantro, don't get it twisted, but it does add a nice touch and contrast to the whole just vanilla and spice. We've smelled vanilla and spice and leather all the time, but that coriander, the ambroxan, and the ginger does take this one somewhere else. Although it's an eau de toilette, it surprised me because of its performance. I was not expecting more than 4 or 5 hours from this fragrance, but it lasted a good 8 to 9 hours. I sprayed it on about 8 to, I would say, 13 times. Yes, that's exactly how many times I probably sprayed it on. And it lasted and it projected. It wasn't one that's like room filler, but it was crazy. It was this aura that I could just smell the entire time. It was during the spring, around 72 degrees, nice bit of wind, and every time I turn, I just get like this magical ambroxan suede and that whole ginger and coriander. So sexy. Try to actually spray this one on skin, guys. Don't go in, just sniff it and walk away. Spray it on skin and just walk away. Let it do its thing in the air and watch. At first, I was not crazy about it, but every single time, I remember how it projected. I got a lot of compliments with this and I fell absolutely in love with it. Since we're talking about leather fragrances, Ombre Leather Parfum. I don't even like leather fragrances like that. I really don't. Just straight up thick slab of leather. I'm not a fan. However, in that realm, if you are, because I was once upon a time, it just, to me now, it's too synthetic, at least to me. But if you are, this is the best leather fragrance you can get, and it's worth every penny. I've smelled so many clones and inspos and twists, etc. Tom Ford just kills it when it comes to this. And the fragrance smells like the bottle, pretty much. Thick, leathery. It's the most, I don't want to say naturalistic, but it's the most photorealistic recreation of a thick slab of black leather. Simple, and it works. You could wear this every day during the fall and the wintertime signature scent, wear it to an event, etc. It works. Leather fragrance, that's it. A masterpiece from Dior, Dior Homme Parfum. I hardly ever use that word, but this is truly a masterpiece. It's a combination of oud, mildly animalistic, ambrette, musk. Wow, sitting on a slab of creamy leather and buttery iris. Love it, freaking love it. However, there are a couple of aspects to this that should be mentioned. It's not the safest blind buy in the world. It's not safe blind buy, period. You have to enjoy that iris, that buttery style of iris, and you have to be okay with a tinge of animalic because it absolutely is, especially in the dry down. And it shines the most if you wear it in the wrong season. This is strictly a winter fragrance. That's it. I have worn this during the fall time. I mean, if I go with like 3 sprays, it's okay. But other than that, you guys, keep it to the winter time because otherwise that ambrette can come off a little bit like BO. So you have been warned. You gotta wear it in the wintertime. It's gonna do absolutely phenomenal. If you like oud, leather, iris combinations, this is the best one. It's niche. I mean, this should have been a niche fragrance. Although there are some niche brands and other brands that have tried to do this, it just can't be done, man. This takes the cake. I would say wear it to dates, special events, winter only. Last but not least, let me give you guys something that's a little bit more refreshing. You can wear this every single day, every season. I mean, it works. Every man should have this in their collection. Clone, dupes, no dupes, doesn't matter to me. It's called Prada L'Homme. I'll always own this. I'll always have this. Fabric softener from Saudi Arabia. That's what it smells like to me. It's got enough cardamom, enough spice, just enough to pass it off as fabric softener, and everything else, soft, a bit floral, masculine still, and it dries down pretty ambery. Sexy, well-groomed, put together, and a bit mysterious. Very sexy ass fragrance. Lasts all day, projects pretty much the entire day. I'd spray this on about 10 to 15 times, and that's pretty much it. These are designer fragrances that are worth every penny. I would buy them again, and I will recommend them always. Although some of these are not the most outstanding to make it to like the best of all time, they should still be mentioned here and there, and that's why I made this list, and will continue to make this list in the near future. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. My name is Yves. Thank you for tuning back in AROMATIX, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.